Hello, this is Michael Gross, and you're watching What's Neat with Ken Patterson.
We have sound this week. I'm so excited.
I know, right?
It's better when we have sound than when we don't.
Not really, it helps.
Look at all the wonderful people in tonight, and we have Dave Davis.
Dave Davis is behind camera, everybody. There's a first for everything.
I know, right? I want to listen to this sound very carefully and make sure we're doing everything right.
Excellent.
All right, gentlemen. Dave, you are running camera one. Thank you so much. And we have all the boys.
Do you think you can give us a countdown, or would you like me to do that?
I'm thinking it's fitting for you.
Okay. Can't count down from 3?
Right.
Oh, excellent.
Everybody smile and look at the camera.
Give me a countdown.
We're going to start in 3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
And by GL Robotics, with over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock. Your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com.
Further support is provided by K&R Models. We dare to build. Check out their website at knrmodels.net.
Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com.
Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com.
Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast.
This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 209 for September 17th, 2022. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. And yes, thank you, Joe, for giving me a few days additional time to get that one out. The October NMRA part of it is finished. We're still completing the Bachman segment with all of their amazing new products that they've announced, of which we're going to talk about a lot of those this month and next month. Now, tonight, we've got a lot of special guests on the show, plus a lot of folks that you already know. Including, starting on this end over here, I've got James Regier. Hey, James.
Hey, everybody.
It's good to have you with me tonight. Now, starting on this end, I've got Caleb Dwiggins. Hey, Caleb.
Hi.
Nice to have you on the set tonight. And next to him, I've got his brother, Jack Dwiggins. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Ken, how you doing?
It's awesome to have you on. And sitting right next to me, I've got Sugarfire Joshua Barton.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Josh. Good to have you. Can't wait for that Arnold location to open up.
Oh, me neither.
Dude, we were doing a Fox football game last night, and I know where the party's going to be after the game.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting right next to Joshua, I've got Reese Dwiggins.
Howdy.
Hey, Reese. It's awesome to have you. You guys are in the age of youth, I can tell. And sitting on the very end is the youngest one of the group. It is John Dwiggins, otherwise known as Dad. And these are the folks, this is the wonderful family that has now acquired Microengineering, which has been a family-owned company and a staple in St. Louis for the track industry and our hobby for over 55 years. And now is a dawn of a whole new family to take it over, and we're honored to have them on the show tonight. So, gentlemen, welcome. We can't wait to hear what you all have in plans for our track company, because it all belongs to us,
That's
the
right.
modelers. That's the way we've always looked at it.
Thank
John,
you for having
why don't
us.
we start out with you, brother? Tell us some of the ideas you've got and what your plans are for this awesome company.
Well, we fully intend to continue the entire line that Microengineering has had for the last 57 years, as you said. And we have some other ideas in mind. We intend to try to expand the track line, or the switch line, to have larger switches than just the number 5 and 6 that are offered now. We've got some other ideas on track as well, and there's just several things out there that as time goes on, we're going to work hard to get out to the market, Ken. We, at the moment, as the old saying goes, we're drinking from the fire hose, learning the business, and it's working real well. Jack and Reese are the fellows that's down here every day running it. Caleb and I are also partners in this, and we usually spend a couple of days a week at the plant. But anyway, it's a family operation, and my wife and I are extremely pleased that all of our families working together on this. It's great when you can do that.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Now, the two boys have been working, you said, at the factory now
Yes.
for going on, I guess, almost 6 weeks.
Well, they've actually been there. Jackie been there 4 months, right?
4 months.
I started second week of May and restarted the first week of May, something like that.
Yeah,
So it's
something to
been
that
a few
effect.
months now.
Yeah, they actually started working there while we were still finishing out the purchase. And they were learning the ropes from the folks that worked there, as well as Ron Rands. I'd like to say something too, if I could, real quick about Ron.
Yes.
The gentleman that we purchased this from the Rands family, and Ron's dad, Robert, started the business years ago.
Yes.
And it passed through to him, and his brother was involved at one point as well.
Richard,
But
yes.
we purchased it from Ron and his daughter, who was involved in it, and they have just been great to work with.
Excellent.
They're a great family, but as sometimes happens, they didn't have someone to move forward with the business. So they were pleased to be able to work this out with another family that would take it over and run it, and they've just been great to be with.
That's part of the beauty of our industry.
Absolutely.
Is so many companies in our industry are just like this. They are family companies. When you go to a major train show, it's all a bunch of families hanging out. And that's why we all get along so well. I really believe that that's true. And you guys are a welcome addition to this. Now, I imagine that you all had a passion for the hobby before this, though, correct?
I did.
We're sort of all over the place on it.
I did.
lot of us-
I have been a model
modeler,
railroader
yeah.
for 50 years.
Okay.
Since I was a young man. My grandfather was a section hand on the Wabash Railroad, and I developed a love of trains there.
Very
and,
nice.
And it's carried forward for years. And the boys are interested, but not to the degree
the
I
same
was,
level,
which
no.
actually is a good balance, because Jack and Reese, where they don't have a huge interest in the hobby itself, can take some of the I don't want to use the word passion, but some of the jadedness of what I see and what I'd like to do.
Right.
They can be more business savvy,
Contemporary.
more practical.
Yeah, it's a bit of a more balanced factor in that.
There's so many different facets in the hobby, though. You don't have to necessarily like trains to be able to like building buildings or, the
Modeling in
RC car
general, yeah.
aspect,
Right.
or there's so many other things that you can
And they
do.
all do model or work with miniatures and stuff
Yeah,
like
that side
that
of it,
in
yeah.
one
Right.
form or another. So there is some crossover there. Yes.
Sure, that's great. Well, I want to officially welcome you guys to the What's Need This Week family.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yep, we're
It's
glad
no
to
secret
sponsor
I've
and
been
be
using
part
your
of it.
product for well over. I met them in 1988 when I was cold calling warehouse properties. I was in the real estate business, and at that time I was working on warehouse leases, and that's when I discovered American Model Builders in Hanley Industrial Court, and I also discovered the Rands family down in Fenton. And I couldn't believe it. Here's a track company right here in my backyard.
Yeah.
So
Well, your track has been the only track that I've ever laid on any of my layouts.
Thank you.
So,
That's
and
wonderful.
will,
We
and will
appreciate that.
continue to be.
Thank you.
When we looked at the business, when we first walked in and visited with Ron, we had seen the advertisement that showed up in a couple of the trade magazines,
Right.
and we just made a trip special down to see it and talk with him, and I think he thought we might have been a little crazy to start with.
Yeah,
Just
we
three
thought
guys
we were
just walk in the front
people
door.
who wanted to see it.
Yeah,
see
we
the
thought we were
operation.
just people wanted to see the company, but I have used the product for years myself, and that was very important to me that I felt like it was something that was worth saving and worth
Growing.
keeping
Yeah.
operating.
right,
And your diversity of track, I mean, no matter
Yep.
what you model, you have a track part pretty
right.
much.
The O scale
Where's the Garden
line.
Railroad track?
Yeah, the G
We
scale
needed a
track.
piece of- we needed a piece
You
of
guys
that.
need to start
actually,
building the
7.5
7.5 inch gauge track for my backyard.
We actually
too.
do some custom
tie.
work for some Garden Railroad people.
Oh, that's great.
And then ours as
Some
well.
of the Garden Railroad stuff you see has parts of it that are microengineering.
And a lot of that
stuff.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to contact you with that, we just go to your website, right?
And it works now, right? The website's up?
Well, it's very basic right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So when we inherited this and worked through it all, we put up a very static website. It's not going to have all the price lists on it, but eventually it will grow. You'll see a lot more price list work. You'll see an actual ordering cart system, so you can directly order from us. You can track your orders. Our wholesale buyers will be able to go through that as well, if they choose to. And then on top of that, we hope to expand and grow the education side of it for some of our younger users, and really start pushing that side of it as well.
I'll tell you, the templates that are on your
Those
website,
will all be back.
I'll tell you, I laid those all out on my layout, and now I have an exact list of everything I need from you guys.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's like a dream. You're just like, here's what I need
yeah,
here, and this is what I can buy.
Here's my expansion, and then when I get more money, here's my expansion
that's
here.
exactly
So
it,
yeah, but
yeah.
it's great to lay them out and see exactly how much surface you have with your ladder track. Yeah.
And that's for the number 5 ladder system that we've got in the back here.
Correct.
Which uses the number 5 system as opposed to the microengineering number 6s on here. Whereas you can save, it's 69 inches with regards to using the straight number 6s. But with the number 5 ladder system, which is designed with the divulging curves on it, you can bring that space down to 47 inches for the same amount of trackage, which in this case, it appears that it is a 7-track switchyard that
And
we've
my
got.
big boy will still run through it.
And we've got footage of
Challenger
it
will
doing
run
that.
through it. Yes.
We have run the big boy through it. We've run the Challenger through it. We've run a Northern 484 long base Athearn locomotive through it, and it all tracks through it perfectly. That's why that diorama is wired up, so we could demo it to make
See if
sure.
it works. Yeah.
And it does in fact work. Auto racks work. 89-foot flat cars work perfectly. Nothing binds and nothing pulls.
It's a great
So
system.
it was designed well in that when Ron made the curvature of the switches coming off, and we described that with regards to what that is, 12 degree or 11 degree. I'm not going to do the numbers because I actually don't have it memorized right now. But it was well thought through so that it would work with all the rolling stock available in our hobby and not cause issues, because if it did, it would be bad press.
Well, as a matter of fact, I think we wired up that switching yard. You know, when I reproduced that Winfield painting with all those war bonnets, that was the yard that we used. Yeah.
That's right. That's been useful for a lot of
Now
good
you're
things.
talking my language there.
Yeah.
I want to add that in the next few months, we're going to have quite a bit more information on these coming out. For those folks that aren't experienced with the ladder track, we're going to probably be reproducing an article or have it back out there for reproduction, and people can actually download it and read again. So
Very cool.
There's going to be some growth on that side, and we're going to. That's probably where our education side of things is going to start pushing.
I know that Stephen Priest used that same system for his.
He did it,
Yeah, it's.
And
And that's
article.
actually the article. he's
Yeah, that's our
referring
first.
to.
Yeah.
We're going to have that
We're
posted
gonna
as
try
well.
to get that on our website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's,
Really,
you know,
isn't it the
very
first
educational.
system like this? that
Yes, it is. Yep.
Rail-proof?
To our knowledge,
Right.
there's not anything like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some folks may look at it and say, well, it seems complicated, but once you sit down and it's almost like the paper templates.
The templates
Use the
explain
templates, kind of lay it
everything.
out, and then you see just how much space you save. It's a great product.
Well, yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
demonstration.
Great
of it.
demonstration
sure
back
is.
here
Shows you both
without
of
buying
them.
them. Even you can see what you need ahead of time is the thing. So
It sure beats trying to string together a whole bunch of stock switches
Oh, yeah.
and then bend the
Yeah.
rails to get
Uh-huh.
to what you want, and then discover that your yard is like twice as wide as
And
you
what
you
have
planned
space
for.
for. Yeah.
This would be great to do a hump yard in too, because as the things go down, I've always wanted to do a hump yard
Right.
in HO scale, and that would be perfect to use for it, because you can get all the
I'm
different
not
branches.
saying we're doing that, but there might be something along that line.
we
You know,
need to
we'll,
talk
we'll,
here later.
we'll just
I'll keep
might be
there's
a
lot.
certain somebody that might be working on their master modeler. We'll say
It'd
that
be
could help.
interesting if you guys figure out the retarding system for the hump yard too,
Oh.
because there have been several things that have been tried, and there's been layouts that I've operated on where it just hasn't worked out that well, and it's served to derail the cars, but not really slow them down.
Hey, it stops them. It stops them.
It stops them, I suppose. Yeah.
It's a fine line between
Yeah.
The two.
I've
seen it derailment and slowing them down.
Where they
Yeah.
actually have the
Oh,
air
yeah.
hoses. So
Oh.
some guys in New York are doing that.
And
Oh,
just
yeah.
little touch button switches that you just do it a little bit. You have an operator right there. I've already
study
thought the
that,
whole
yeah.
thing out. I'm
There's a
just
guy sits there and
haven't
does that, yeah.
executed yet, but as soon as I retire,
Is that coming soon?
No.
So the 10th
No,
of February.
okay.
Not close.
February, yeah.
All right, so Spring Creek Model Trains out in Degeler, Nebraska also stocks microengineering product. Am I
Yes,
right
sir.
by my
Yep.
thoughts on that?
Absolutely.
Because that's a well-stocked hobby shop, one of the biggest ones in the middle of nowhere, but their website that they got at springcreeksmodeltrains.com is absolutely amazing. What they do is they purchase so much product when a new product comes out that they make sure that they've got enough, whereas after everybody else sells out, they still have it. Plus, Dave and Deb and Mike and all the whole entire family, you see them traveling around train shows
Another
around the
family
country,
business, that's
right?
right.
Sometimes they do train shows in the same weekend. You see Dave and Deb at two different parts of the country at the same time,
Yep.
representing Spring Creek, holding up that flag and waving it proud, and they've got a customer base that follows them around. And there's a lot of times when there's a train show in an area near you, if you've created an order with them, they will actually bring that order to you at that show. That's something for you to work with them on the phone, but they have done that for a lot of customers that I have talked to.
Absolutely.
Spring Creek Model Trains is your to-go place when you want to pick up microengineering track. I just wanted to throw that out there because we love you guys out there. They're good folks.
They are great. It amazes me. They come to some of the smallest and largest shows. They were at NMRA, and earlier this year they were in Marceline at a little train show that's held in about a 4,000 square
Yeah.
foot building.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. They show up at the shows.
See, this is another
Yeah.
family from out west.
There you go.
It truly
Well,
is.
west.
It
Same.
truly
Yeah,
is.
yeah, west.
All right, James Regier, you brought something exciting to talk about tonight. Tell us, what have you got on the table?
Well, so a while ago, Campbell Rice had wanted me to design a cell tower for him, and then I started, and I didn't know when to quit. So now I have a full-on radio tower. This is about the tallest thing that you'd really want on your layout, without cutting that hole in the ceiling. I think we've all seen those cartoons where you see this guy cutting a hole in the kitchen floor so that he can actually put a scale skyscraper on his layout. So you don't quite want to go that big, but this will take you there. This was a 3D design that I did on Blender. And I've gotten it so that I can do it in 2 full prints on my Anycubic Photon X
Right.
printer.
And that's
So
from, where'd you get that from?
I got it from G&L Robotics, of course.
Greg Summerlin out there,
yeah.
Geo Robotics, and his customer service is second to
Yeah.
none. I want to throw that
Absolutely.
out there.
Yeah. This is printed in Ceratec blue resin. And so this is actually a resin that offers a little more flex than your average, which for these large structures is a nice feature to have, because I know as I've tried to stack this thing up, it's crashed to the floor several times, and
nothing happens.
it hasn't broken. It's the tip has gotten bent up a little bit, as you
it's
can see, but it
flexible.
hasn't
Yeah,
broken.
It's not
It's
brittle.
flexible, so it's
Not
it's
all of it's flexible.
Ceratec has done a heck of a job with designing resins, I got to say. They're kind of my go-to source.
And did you mention it was ACC glue you put that together with?
Oh yeah, so it's all assembled with super glue, Gorilla Glue, in fact. And since this was printed, I redesigned the entire tower, so now it's all got that Lego system, and if I do a complete vertical print, it'll all lock in with the individual knobs and holes on the top. So it's designed so that you can assemble it and hopefully do it glue-free without having to worry about something slipping off, until you paint it and, just figure it out, place it on your layout, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then here I have another project that I've been working on. I'm interested to see what East Coast Circuits has designed for this thing, because I know they've taken an interest. And Mike Buddy has it presently, and I'll get it from Mike Buddy as soon as I see him. But I also like to play around and design things myself. So this is an Arduino system to do the aircraft warning lights for the tower.
Okay.
You see there's a blue light flashing right now, and so this represents what you'd see in daylight. And there would be, lights on up the tower that would be flashing. Now, if I take away the light source, it's hooked up to a photoresistor, and if as the photoresistor drops, you see it switches to red for a nighttime
cool.
lighting. And so I've tested this several times in my office, which has nice dimmable can lights, And as I dim them down, you can just watch it turn from the blue light to the red light. And of course, there'll be different LEDs on here. You know, there'll be the surface mount kind. They'll be much smaller. But it's been fun experimenting with that, and I'll have to shrink it down from this Arduino Uno to something much smaller. I'm thinking one of those A-Tiny 13 or A-Tiny 85 chips.
Right.
That can handle all of this and program in the same way. They'll have to learn a little bit more about that before I do. So it's been a fun project. Campbell, I'll have your cell tower for you eventually. So I'm kind of learning as I go here. So yeah, this is that's basically what I brought tonight.
That's awesome. We miss you, Campbell Rice.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your new videos.
I know,
Yeah.
right? And that Illinois Central caboose, it's absolutely beautiful
it
that you
is.
Yeah.
designed.
Yeah.
All the best to you out there. Now, gentlemen, if you guys decide to buy a 3D printer for doing prototyping, which is obviously the way to go nowadays, it's a lot easier than cutting a full die and finding out things are not going to work right.
Yeah.
I would suggest Greg Summerland at G&L Robotics, USA.com. They've got the filament printers and the resin printers, both, which are perfect for product development. Because it's not just track you make. I know, obviously, the track system, you've got that down, but you've also got the line of bridges, you've got the line of vehicles, you've got the line of buildings in N-scale and HO-scale engine houses and warehouse buildings. And any new additions to that, it would be so much easier to get with James, have him help you guys with design work, show you how to work the machines. And in fact, Greg Summerland at GL Robotics will do that with you on the phone and or do it with you on a YouTube video. Did I say YouTube? Skype, on Skype, where he'll walk you through the process of helping you if you have issues with regards to the design. But it's a great way to do it rather than just cutting metal and then finding out it's not quite right.
And he will be on the phone as long as he needs to help you guys with your problem.
Well, and
we've got a project for you right
we've got a project for him right now.
Well,
It has to do with process more than it's to improve
product,
our process.
but we got to improve the process.
Or improve our process so we can turn switches out
I will
fast.
And you know,
Maybe
some of those products out there, some of those resins are now specifically designed for casting, so that you can go straight from the print to casting your parts as well. So I've been thinking I might try some of those eventually, see how they work out and that kind of thing. So
I think you guys just met a cousin or something here.
I know, right?
Well, I'm gonna call you because I read about a resin the other day that's actually a two-part, and one of them you dilute with isopropyl alcohol. You dilute the support, so then you can do a burnout afterwards once you're actually in the investment.
well, I would be interested in learning
I'll
about
send
that
you some
resin.
info on it,
Yeah,
'cause
for sure. If you can
it's a
dissolve those
neat
supports
printer,
as opposed to breaking them off,
yes,
This is what the show's all
Yeah,
about.
That's very cool stuff.
We have
This is a
Connections
marriage,
are
baby.
being made.
Yeah.
I'll get you Greg Summerland's phone number, gentlemen, so that you guys can
we
contact
have
him.
actually been talking the last few days about where we make our points or our frogs and guardrails.
Okay.
They're all made of brass, and that's all investment casting, and
It's involved.
it's very
Yeah,
labor
absolutely.
intensive to create the trees that
It
then
is.
we do that with. So we've got some ideas on
Yep.
how to improve it, and the little Lego thing you were talking about is right up the
Right up
alley
over
what we're
three.
talking
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Lego is not a trademark of the What's Neat This Week show. And we get no rights from it, so
But they're still fun to play with.
Yeah, no, it's inspired.
that's right.
Yeah.
Inspired. There you go.
Inspired.
So, gentlemen, can I put you all on the spot? Have you got any ideas possibly for some new products? You just mentioned maybe an improvement in frog design. Is there anything else that you're allowed to divulge tonight at this point on thoughts? Maybe something we might see in the future.
Some bigger bridge spans.
Let us.
so-
Can we start at one point and kind of head towards that?
Okay.
Right now, like Dad had said, we're really working on the angle of we're drinking from this fire hose. So we're looking at the process and saying, okay, well, we can tweak this particular part. Let's say it's the casting, and instead of taking 3 weeks to produce what we need for a batch of switches, we can produce it in 1 week.
Wow.
So we can actually, and I'm not saying we would, but we're looking at it and
That's
saying, how
kind of
can we make
improvements
this
we're
work
looking for.
faster?
Labor's a
Right.
serious issue
Labor's,
for
and
us.
it's not that we want to cut
and
people, we
it's
just
been
can't
a-
find them.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
been a problem for Ron
Everyone.
and his family in keeping people in there, and so that you can, in a manner that you can keep things reasonably priced.
Absolutely.
That's the first step we're starting at.
So
But
that's-
there's other products.
We have to make sure
Yeah.
that we're improving our ability to deliver product to the customers. That's project number one.
Yeah,
That's number one.
absolutely.
Well,
Right.
and we are catching up. I think everybody
Right.
knows we're behind. The last few years, especially with COVID, affected us in a way where we weren't producing what we should have been able to because of labor shortages, like they were saying. So we've got upwards of a year's worth of back order to get through. So we're trying to get caught up because we know we owe you stuff out there. We've got product we need to get to people.
And we want to make it for you.
That's important to us too, is to get everybody caught up and
Definitely.
squared away.
Something else that we've done, we don't mind sharing with you, we've invested in some additional
machinery.
molding machines. We're going to be able to mold about twice what Ron was able to before we took over. They're sitting in Mississippi right now, Alabama.
Alabama.
Sitting in
Just
Alabama
gotta get 'em
waiting
home.
for a truck to get them home. And so, we're making some investment there. New products, yes, we got new products on our mind. There's products that the Rams family was developing
Oh, yeah.
that have not hit the market yet. We've got a really nice number 6 crossover.
Yes, I've seen
Complete
that.
crossover.
It's beautiful.
nice.
It's ready to go. The only thing we need to do is finalize the packaging on it, and then
We need a
be
large.
sure that we got enough capacity to
start
produce
selling.
it.
Yeah.
We need a
Because
large
right now
scale
we're
run of it.
producing track and switches as fast as we've got one machine that's run code 83 track now for a month and a half
Yeah.
straight.
We're hoping to show it at. We're going to be at the Amherst show in January, and we're hoping to have the Switch ready to go.
Right.
And
That's
out
kind
to
of
the
where we're
public by
hoping to
then.
roll that
That's great.
crossover
It's
out
gonna be
to
a great
Amherst.
show for you.
Yeah.
Another thing we're pushing towards, and we've heard a lot of folks talk with us about, is releasing weathered versions of all of what we do.
Yes.
Okay.
Just on
Weathered
top of that,
switches. Yeah.
and they'll function mechanically and they'll function electrically just like our other ones would. Just releasing a version of that, so that's a small step. It's a very small package change. It's something we can do. We don't have them available now, but I think again that's Amherst-ish timetable.
Nice.
So that's
The next
man.
ladder track stuff as well.
It could be.
It could be. We'll probably start with the 5 and the 6.
Yeah,
'cause
you start with your
that's
common
where
stuff.
it makes
Yeah.
most
I
sense.
mean,
but
think about
I
that.
like
You
that.
lay that down. You don't have to spend the time weathering. It's already.
I do like that idea because
Yeah.
that's one thing that gives me the jitters about weathering it.
Yep.
Because every time you spray it with something or do something like that, you're risking an electrical contact or something else going bad. And if you can just skip that step
Yeah.
and have something that looks right and works
Our
out of the
weathering-
box.
yeah, our weathering process
We
that
weather,
use now
yeah.
is pretty
right at
pretty
the
electrical
sweat-
conductive.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of issues with that.
And we're hoping to
we're hoping to
prototype
just-
it enough that
yeah,
we know stuff
take
is going
that-
to work
Right.
well when we give
But,
it to you.
but the one that you do at home might not be.
Right.
You
Yeah,
might
yeah,
just
yeah.
ruin it.
Yeah, might ruin a switch. And,
Absolutely.
it's expensive.
Yeah.
So that's another option.
What I hear you guys saying is rather than just jumping the gate with all kinds of new products, what you're doing is you're looking at ways to improve the speed of making things and also possibly cut short some of the processes that are maybe could be more effectively manufactured.
Yes.
So that's a very smart
Now,
approach.
let me say this
We're
though.
gonna-
We're not moving overseas by any means. We're
Made
everything
in
will
the
be made
USA.
right here.
That's
It'll be
huge.
we are a USA brand, and we
Yes.
always will be at this,
And
as
the
far as we
Ron-
can tell.
Ron didn't
And Ron and the Rands family always felt that U.S. product is the way to be.
Beautiful.
We're going to employ
committed to
U.S.
that.
people
Well, it's easy
Excellent.
to say when
forever
you
as we
do
can.
stuff.
Yeah, it's
That-
difficult to do, but it's the right thing to do.
It is
So.
the right thing.
That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, very, very.
One of the other products that we're working on and we've actually, you want to talk about the number 8?
Oh,
Yeah, the number 8. That's a product that
Heard here first.
Yeah, that's right. Here's an exclusive.
Okay.
I tell you what, it's in the works. Ron had started die work on a number 8.
Yeah.
At this point, the dies are we think
60-ish.
somewhere 60% complete.
Mm-hmm.
We actually, Jack and I pulled them out this afternoon, looked them over. We're going to see what needs to be done to get those done. The number 8 process is a little bit different and more difficult for us because
bigger.
it's a
bigger
bigger
switch.
It's a bigger
Yeah.
switch, it's a longer switch. Our molders mold 9-inch shots at a
Right.
time, and the number 8 will be in the 11-inch range.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
So-
12, 13
So,
inches, something like
yeah.
that.
Well,
It's
you know
long.
what? I'm glad my module's taking this long because that's exactly
that's what you need in number 8?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
well,
If you look at it,
hey,
Paraphrasing
2,
Jaws, you're going to
3
need
more
a bigger
years.
mold.
We're going to be a bigger machine,
a
yeah.
couple years.
Yeah.
Well,
2, 3
what
more
I
years
love-
you
Well,
might have
we
it.
don't know. We'll know a lot more in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
It could be something that we're able to roll out in
'Cause that's a
in a reasonably
Yeah.
short time. We believe the design work is complete,
Yeah, it is.
and the molds to run the number 8s left and right are
Well, I thought we
And
turned
the
that on.
details will be a little
busted. Anyway, we
geez.
believe that you asked about the detail. The detail will be just as good
It'll
as
be
it is on
just
the
like
but
fives
it'll-
and
but it'll
sixes.
be
and-
different.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's different.
The hardware will match that switch.
There's some processes involved too. We have to come up with molds to do the brass castings as well. But
'Cause
it's
the
there.
angles will be
It's,
different.
You
Nice.
know,
I gotta say, it's just sitting here and learning about a lot of this stuff for the first time. It's very exciting to hear all the new energy that's being put into microengineering
absolutely.
and making it bringing it to that next level. It's exciting to hear all this.
I like to think that we, the three of us we're not railroad modelers.
Yeah.
Dad is. But what we do bring to the hobby is energy to try other things and offer new products and really, as Ron said, these guys are going to breathe new life into this business.
Yeah.
And that's our hope long term.
Right.
Absolutely.
Dad and I do full-time things outside the business. These two have got it day to day and are doing an excellent job.
Marketing and research over here.
Well, we will tell you this. We come from a family
Yeah.
that has been in a lot of different businesses over the years, and pretty much all of them have been successful to one level or another.
Yep.
And it's not just me. I mean, my dad was, my grandfathers were. So it's something that we're not afraid to do, to try something different. And we're excited about it. We're really excited about the opportunity to do this. It's really exciting for me because I've got an endless supply of kits
Right.
to track. I mean,
Like he needed more, yeah.
yeah, it's going to be quite a sale.
Know that
someday,
story.
guys.
So next week we've got the week off. We don't have to do a show next week, which is my chance to work and get the November What's Neat out, which is the plan to do. K&R Models, we'll have Keith on the 8th of October. I believe that's the second week of October. knrmodels.net. That's the company that we talked about that is coming out with the American Shea for the American market. And they make a lot of other beautiful steam locomotives for the European and UK modelers out there. I look forward to having Keith on the show, but you can check out their website one more time at knrmodels.net. They make some amazing one-offs type steam locomotives that are just brilliant, that we've talked about on the show in the last couple of weeks. And we will have some of those models. He's just doing a train show this weekend, so we will have some of the models in the forthcoming weeks that I will shoot outside and also be able to demonstrate in here on the layout so we can actually see how they perform. And I promise I don't think we're going to be disappointed in any of that.
No, nice.
Is there anything else rounding this out, gentlemen, that you think you want to say? And by the way, thank you for helping us support the hobby the way we try to do on this show.
I think the only thing I would add is we appreciate your support. We appreciate all the others, whether it's the publications or the podcast here or, just the work you all do to help us on this side. We want to hear from the modelers too.
Tell us how we can improve our product.
We like Dad had said, we come from a line of people, we're entrepreneurs, and we come from a line of people that are basically, we listen to the customer first.
Okay.
If the customer says, this is what I need, and we can prove that a lot of other customers need it, let's make it.
And I love the first priority
Doesn't
that you
bother
guys
us.
have is to get all the back orders
Yep.
out and
Right.
get everybody out there.
We owe it.
Yep.
We
I'd
want to do all these new things we're talking about.
love to.
But our first obligation is to get those products out to folks who have ordered them, and we're not just talking about direct sales to individuals.
no.
We're talking about the companies that work with us too. And,
Yep.
for any of you out
Wholesalers.
there that has purchased stuff from microengineering or have standing orders with us, please be patient. We're working on it as quick as we can.
There you
We're
go.
taking the steps to
Excellent.
improve.
That's great.
I'm going to give Reese the NCE Pro Cab here to run. And I'm going to give Jack the smaller cab because you guys have never used NCE, have you?
I have not actually, no.
So this is going to be great because you guys are going to find out how simple this system is to use. I love it. Everybody that uses it loves it. It's simple. NCEDCC.com. It is the power of DCC. And so, gentlemen, we are going to go run some trains.
All right.
Best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it sitting all around me tonight. I can't wait to see what Dave Davis has got to say to these gentlemen. He's Mr. Track in the basement tonight.
That's
And
right.
with that, everybody, Have a great week, and let's go run some trains.
Yay.
Like and subscribe. See you later. All right, thumbnail. Can I have?
Okay, keep
Where did
camera.
you get this from? This is pretty.
You didn't see last week's show.
Oh, no.
Woody Wood's wonderful wife, Flower, made that for us.
Oh, he came and visited me in the food truck. It was awesome.
He sought you out.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to hold up this beautiful tower.
If you guys
And
see
he's
anything
gonna
on
hold
the
up his
shelves or
tower.
anything, if you guys want to
Keep
hold
the
or
camera rolling,
just
don't quit it.
wave, we're going to all smile.
We're all
at
going
the
to show
camera.
teeth at this camera so that we can create our YouTube thumbnail shot like we always like to do.
What's
Okay.
this YouTube thumbnail?
It's just a picture that you see on the YouTube.
Okay, everybody look at that camera and show some teeth right now. Here you go. And we've got that. I'm going to kill sound. Dave, let that camera keep going.
Camera rolling.
And good job, guys.
Thank you so much for being here, guys. It was
Thank
awesome
you.
to
Sorry,
have you.
fellas. Caleb and I kind of run over.
You guys are fine, no worries. Good job.
Some,
Hey, Reese, do you have anything to add?
air guitar on the tower there.
What you were talking about, those popping into each other.
Yeah.
We talk, okay.
Yeah.
Everything is
It's
great. You
good,
guys did a
good.
wonderful job. So.
Inside, you need to scale things down.
One of them is buddy.
Yeah.
He's
found the camera?
Fit in right over here.
Yeah, I haven't given it a try on this layout yet.
Our investment plan.
Tilt this up.
Can we get on the street?
Pull that up.
When somebody designs those little CD ones.
Yeah. So, I'm guessing this one's taller than
Good job, guys.
It's very labor intensive, to say the least.
Good job.
Plastic pieces. Right. Not cast wood molded.
Frosted flakes.
It's frosted flakes. That's never treated.
Yeah, okay.